Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today we are back with more news and politics from around the world. This is for the 1st of May 2023. First story we're going to look at is from the New Republic. Nebraska lawmaker has filibustered for 9 weeks and is not yet done. Michaela Cavanaugh says she'll do whatever it takes to stop the anti-trans bill in her state. Good. Michaela Cavanaugh has filibustered the Nebraska state legislature for 9 weeks straight. All to make sure a bill banning gender-affirming care for minors never makes it to a final vote. Kavanaugh made waves when she first began her filibuster in February for saying she would burn the session to the ground over this bill. If this legislature effectively decides that legislating hate against children is our priority, then I'm going to make it painful for everyone. I have nothing but time, and I'm going to use all of it. Good. I am glad. You should be treating, other humans with kindness instead of spewing hate. And she feels the same way. Honestly. If you can't get over someone being trans, you shouldn't be in political office. This is from Newsweek. Greg Abbott criticized for a response to Texas shooting a new low. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has been criticized for his response to a mass shooting that left 5 people dead in his state. Authorities appear no closer to catching the suspect, identified as Francisco Oropeza, after more than 2 days of searching. Oropeza, 38, is considered armed and dangerous after fleeing the Cleveland, Texas area on Friday night. Authorities say he entered his neighbor's home and fatally shot 5 people, including a 9-year-old boy, after they had asked him to stop firing rounds in his yard at night because a baby was sleeping. Abbott, a Republican, announced $50,000 in reward money for information on Sunday, noting in a press release and tweet that the victims were illegal immigrants. The release also noted that Oropeza was in the country illegally. And you can see his bull crap here. I've announced $50,000 reward for the info on the criminal who killed 5 illegal immigrants Friday. I continue working with state and local officials, blah, blah, blah. State Senator Roland Gutierrez, a Democrat, blasted Abbott's statement, calling it a new low and accusing the governor of continuing to do nothing to keep Texas safe from gun violence. Gutierrez, who represents Uvalde, where a teenage gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers last year, wrote on Twitter, Greg, how was an undocumented person able to obtain an AR-15 in the first place? I'll tell you why. It's because you and other Republicans have made safe gun laws non-existent. I challenge you to show some actual political courage and do something. Yeah. I mean, seriously. You Republicans have made it so there can be no regulation on guns. Let's see. Congressional Hispanic Caucus also hit out at Abbott. The caucus tweeted 5 innocent lives lost to gun violence. Texas Governor Abbott decides to dehumanize and delegitimize the lives of those killed in this horrific attack by calling them illegal migrants. Just horrible. Or just horrible. Thoughts with family and survivors during this difficult time. Where is that one part? Others praised Abbott, which is ridiculous. It's sick. I'm trying to see if they have a mention, because I saw another thing on this story where one of the relatives said, no, they were here legally. The ones who were shot. It doesn't say anything about it, but yeah, I saw another story where, talking about the same incident, they said, one of the relatives said, yeah, they were here legally. Yeah, this is from Vice. Pornhub blocks all of Utah from its site. People in Utah who visit Pornhub will now be greeted by an adult performer, Cherry DeVille, asking them to tell their representatives to change their age verification law. In response to a new law that requires porn sites to verify users' ages, Pornhub has completely disabled its websites for people located in Utah. As of today, anyone accessing Pornhub from a Utah-based IP address doesn't see the Pornhub homepage, but instead is met with a video of Cherry DeVille, adult performer and member of the Adult Performer Advocacy Committee, explaining that they won't be able to visit the site. Close that, please. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it is the parents' job to decide what their children do and do not view, and it's their responsibility. It should not be up to a website like Pornhub just because they have, pictures of women and men in illicit situations, sexual situations. I don't care, what your religion may try to tell you. Now, this is from Reuters. Sudan conflict could prompt 800,000 people to flee. Sudanese expect more bloodshed despite ceasefire. Conflict enters third week. Hundreds killed. Fighting focused on capital Khartoum and Darfur. The United Nations warned on Monday that the conflict in Sudan could force 800,000 people to flee the country as battles between rival military factions persisted in the capital despite a supposed ceasefire. Hundreds of people have been killed and thousands wounded over 16 days of battles since disputes between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces erupted in a conflict on April the 15th. crisis has unleashed a humanitarian disaster, damaged swaths of Khartoum, and risked drawing in regional powers and reignited conflict in the Darfur region. Yeah, I think they saying we already got U.S. Workers and citizens out of there, so. But yeah, I mean, instead of doing everything militarily, we've just got to go in and start doing things peacefully. You know, same with the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Both sides could go sit down at a table and discuss this. The interference, now that we know it is more than just sending weapons of Western countries, should not be happening. But yeah. This is from Manga Bay. Ethiopia used chemicals to kill locusts. Billions of honeybees disappeared. Kenya and Ethiopia sprayed millions of hectares of cropland and pastures with chemical pesticides in response to massive locust swarms that emerged between 2019 and 2021. In Ethiopia, around 76 billion honeybees died or abandoned their hives during this period, a new study estimates, arguing that chemical spraying was most likely to blame. The researchers said Somalia's use of a biopesticide, on the other hand, was a better approach, and that chemical pesticides banned in the EU and the US because of harmful effects on the environment and human health cannot continue to be used in the other parts of the world. Advocates for integrated pest management say that countries could track and manage locust purges before they reach threatening proportions. So yeah. I mean, honestly, there's already a crisis in the world where the honeybee population is just being devastated. And this is not anything good to add to it. Now we've got 3 stories from the Lever. First, Joe Manchin's tax hike on the working class. The yacht-owning coal baron crushed low-income families while representing one of America's poorest states, West Virginia. Despite representing one of America's poorest states, Joe Manchin decided in 2021 to kill legislation to extend expanded child and anti-poverty tax credits that were helping the working class. The expiration of the expanded tax credits resulted in more than 3 million kids being thrown into poverty. New data shows it also resulted in a massive regressive tax increase on the working class. Look, I've said this before. I am no fan of the Democrats. I can't stand Republicans. But any way you look at it, this guy is not a good senator, not a good representative. How he keeps getting in office, I do not know. He's not good for West Virginia. He should be beaten in an election. I don't care if it's a Republican, a Democrat, or a freaking horse. He shouldn't be in office. He's not good for anybody. Now, the next story from the Lever. Thomas helped kill eviction ban threatening benefactors' business. Harlan Crow's company said tenant protections threatened its profits. Thomas twice voted to end them, while Crow lavished him with gifts. So yeah, more corruption being just thrown out there about Clarence Thomas. It's all coming to the forefront. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas voted to end federal tenant protections that his billionaire benefactors company says threatened its real estate profit margin, according to corporate documents reviewed by the Lever. Thomas did not disclose his relationship with real estate billionaire Harlan Crow, nor did he recuse himself from the 2021 case despite its potential impact on Crow Holdings, which is why I believe such cases as these need to be retried in front of the Supreme Court. Now, rent control, which Crow Holdings documents also say threatens the company's business, could come before Thomas, and there is no indication he would recuse himself if it does. And if he doesn't, he should be impeached. Not just impeached, removed, kicked out. He has got no business being on the Supreme Court if he will not recuse himself in such situations. And now we're seeing cases that involve also Neil Gorsuch, who was just appointed by Trump, the first of the three he put on the Supreme Court. And John Roberts' wife accepting big money that I think it was that he didn't disclose. So that puts him in a precarious situation. But Clarence Thomas is an egregious, acceptor of gifts for his decision on the court. He's ridiculously corrupt. And the last article by the Lever we want to look at here is Pelosi gets hospital lobbyists award after blocking reforms. She's again another one like Manchin who should not be in office. A lot of Congress needs to go. Period. A lot of Congress. I'm saying about 85%. We're talking both bodies, all 400 and 538 members, 100 senators and 438 representatives. They all need investigated, and a lot of them voted out because the great majority of them are corrupt, left, right. Really, there is no left, but the faux left and the right have severe candidates that they need removed from office. Anyway, A top lobbying group for hospitals on Monday gave Representative Nancy Pelosi an award for her incredible efforts in advancing health care after the former House Speaker spent the past 4 years fulfilling the industry's top legislative priority, blocking consideration of Medicare for all in any other major reforms to the insurance-based healthcare system. While the American Hospital Association says it's dedicated to providing high quality care to all parties, the lobbying group actually serves the financial interests of its hospital chain members, which profit immensely. Throughout her career, Speaker Emerita Pelosi has been a friend to America's hospitals and health systems, said Rick Pollock, President and CEO of the American Hospital Association, AHA, in a press release announcing Pelosi's award. She is a champion for better health care, an advocate for patients, and she continues to work hard to expand opportunities for children, seniors, students, veterans, and the poor. And she helps us keep making big money. Yes. Thank you so much, Nancy. Out of all the first world countries, this is not all countries in the world, first world countries, considered highly industrialized and developed, America is the only one that doesn't have a public healthcare system. The only one. We're supposed to be the richest nation in the world, yet we can't afford public healthcare. It's ridiculous. We should have public health care. Anyway, I'll go ahead and end this episode here. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting these sources in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.